Hey everyone, it's SeaMystic back here with another pick a card. Today's pick a card is going to be an Akashic Records reading. This could include your origin, your soul's origin, any other incarnations you've had, and maybe even a past life that is relevant to you now, that is affecting you now, that you could learn something from. So I will do a quick collective. So I felt a need to share the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. That's not something, I don't normally share random Greek mythology stories during collectives, but I felt the need to do so. I was actually contemplating whether or not I should, although I did feel the need to, but I was laying down to go to sleep when I was thinking about this and I saw the word roused. And I looked up the meaning of that, and it sort of reiterated the fact that maybe I do need to share this story. So Orpheus, in Greek mythology, they say he was the son of a muse. Some say he was even Apollo's son. He had a remarkable talent for music. He could sing very well. He could play instruments and sing. But his voice was so captivating that not only were mortals really drawn to it and really attracted to him, but also gods were very transfixed by his voice as well. But he also had an adventurous side. He liked to travel. And during one of these travels, he was playing his music and caught the eye of a wood nymph, Eurydice. They caught each other's eye, actually. And it was one of those, as in most Greek mythology stories, love at first sight sort of situation. They were together. They got married. But as you know, most of these stories don't end too great. Well, there was a shepherd that fell in love with Eurydice, and he came toward Orpheus and Eurydice. He was going to kill Orpheus. Have I been saying orifice the whole time? He was going to sorry. He was going to kill Orpheus. Anyway, they ended up running off, and the shepherd started chasing them. So they were running off. It was a long journey. They weren't even looking back. And then Orpheus noticed that, there was a tug, like he was holding on to Eurydice. He noticed that she had fallen. And he looked, and she couldn't walk. She had stepped into a pit of vipers. And as they knew, if you step into a pit of vipers, you're bit by a viper, you're gone for. So she died. And this killed him. And he tried everything. He went everywhere trying to figure out a way to get her back. He ended up, he was able to go into the underworld. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically he went to the underworld. He got past all there was to get past and got to Hades and Persephone, which king and queen of the underworld, right? So he tells them the story of what happened, and they were so emotional. Even Hades started to tear up. And he said, okay, I will resurrect Eurydice if you leave the underworld and do not turn around until you step through the threshold and into the light, basically. And Eurydice will be behind you. So he says, okay. So he starts playing his music as he's trying to leave the underworld. And he can hear her footsteps too. So he keeps going, and he's like almost to the very end, but he doesn't hear anything anymore. He doesn't hear her footsteps. And he's like, oh my God, they are making a fool out of me. This is all a big joke. Why did I think Hades would bring her back to life? It's Hades, And he turns around. And there she is, behind him, as Hades said she would be. But she was in the form of a shade, and started getting dragged back down into the underworld. But when he had noticed what he had done, he, fell to his knees. There's different versions of what happened to him next, but more or less, he spent the rest of his life feeling haunted by the fact that his lack of faith ruined love. And that brings me to the word roused. So, when I saw the word roused, it's actually an English word this time, which makes things a whole lot more easier for me. But granted, it is from the 1600s. So it can't just be a normal word, right? But it means a cause to get up or to get moving. Because I was asking, am I supposed to share this, story? And I see that. So I'm like, I see where you're going with this. People need a cause to keep going. They need something they love. They need a passion to keep going. When we lose faith in that, when we lose faith in things, is basically when we give up and we're in depression, apathy even. When you're in that state of not really having anything to look forward to or to believe in, it sort of kills your spirit in a way. You don't see the hope for the future. You don't see the point. And that can really, start taking a dark, dark turn. A lot of people say that there's, toxic positivity. You can't be too positive because that's toxic. Well, right, but also you have to believe in things. You have to believe good things can happen to you. You have to have a hope, a passion, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with love. And even in the Bible it says love is the only thing that's real. What people misunderstand is when they put fear in love, when they put expectation in love, when they put conditions in love, that's when it starts to get toxic. That's when it starts to ruin things. But love in its purest form is the only thing that is real. And I know somebody on YouTube, his name's Wiley, and he told me to look into Colin Wilson, some of his teachings, and he was, back in the 50s, 60s, but he made he wrote like 100 books. But he had a lot of similar things, and he talked about the Romantic era with Vincent van Gogh, how there was a lot of suicides back then in that particular time. And a lot of it had to do, people need passion. That's what gets you out of bed. That's what motivates you. But now we're sort of almost conditioned to think that's selfish or egoic, but it's not. It's the fire energy. It's the spirit. It gives you energy. And last summer I kept hearing the Bible verse, above all else, guard your heart, because from it flows the springs of life. And I'm paraphrasing. And I took that as, I'm supposed to protect myself from people, certain people or situations, not to put too much hope or stock into things, which it's good to have boundaries, right? But you don't guard your heart to the point to where nothing gets in or to where you create a blockage. Because if love is the only thing that is real and you're withholding that, you're fake. You're not authentic. You're not operating from love. The springs of life are what flow from your heart. So what are you allowing to flow from your heart? Are you allowing your heart to flow at all? Guard your heart and keep it pure from things like fear, anger, jealousy, things like that. Because that's what taints the spring. So like fire and water alchemy, I'm picturing the spirit and the heart, the emotions and the spirit. Does this make sense? So I'm like, well, the people that have blocked their heart, they're fake. I had that realization, like they're fake people. Anyway, but again, guarding your heart, but not blocking your heart. Protecting it from fear is the key. And again, as it usually has been the past couple months, it's coming back to fear versus love again, which I find interesting. So I hope that made sense. We also have a new moon in Aquarius coming up on Tuesday the 1st. It's going to be 12:46 a.m. and that's Eastern time. So technically Monday night into Tuesday. It's going to be a new moon. So that's a good time to set intentions. To interject really quick, Tuesday will also be the Chinese New Year of the Water Tiger. And then Mercury will be out of retrograde on Friday the 4th. That's basically it. Oh, here it is. This is Eastern Standard Version. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. So as you can see, we have 4 piles to choose from. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you need a moment to pause to choose which one you want, go ahead and do so at this time. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, for those of you who chose group 1, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages here. So the first thing I saw was the number 548, and that number basically tells you to not forget about your goals, to keep moving toward them, and to trust the process and trust the divine. And then I heard Mintaka. I wasn't expecting that, but here we are. Mintaka, that is a starseed origin. So I think you might be one of the only groups that got one of those in the channeled. That is in Orion. It doesn't exist anymore, they say, but when it did, it was full of water. There were a lot of beings, mermaids, dolphins, and things of that nature. Olive tree. The symbolism for the olive tree goes back to Greco-Roman times, basically. So ancient Greece, Rome, those could be significant to you. But it means peace. And then I heard 18, and I forgot to look up what that means, but I'll put that in the video, probably. And then I saw 3 circles and heard the word 3. So something with, it could be like the Holy Trinity or mind, body, spirit. Oh, and then I heard India and Venice. So another connection there. So far we have Greece, Italy with Venice and Rome, and India. And then Virga. So that means okay, let me explain. So Virga, it's going to have different meanings depending on what country you're from. This could be referring to La Virga, and that's part of the Canary Islands, and that's part of Spain. So it could be referring to that. Now, there's also a couple places with the name Virga in Greece. So again, another reference to Greece. Also, in Italian, it means rod or staff or cane, something like that. So again, another reference to Italy. But if we're talking about Mexico, it's going to mean penis. So just take what resonates here. That's what I have for your channel. I want to see what type of person you were in your past life. Alrighty then. Okay. All right. Okay. So the first one we have knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. We'll just go with the light attributes until we see more. Pioneer, passion for daring and creating what has not been done before. Could be Industrial Revolution for some of you. But again, let's see, with not definitely medieval era here. Saboteur. So that's a French word, I think. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So you did have issues with self-empowerment, but still the need to be this pioneer and not. Maybe you were male. Well, then we have femme fatale. Okay, male and female. It looks like there was some sort of love relationship involved here. At least needing to be a pioneer, but there seemed to be some self-empowerment issues. Self-sabotage, maybe. Highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Wonder if you lost a female because you weren't in your power. In the shadow attribute of not, we have allegiance to a destructive power or principle, romantic delusions. Let's get more information here. Make sure it's the right way. Significant past life relevant to them now. So that goes along with rules. But you could have, with chivalry, it could have been, it goes with that too. I wonder if you left some sort of system, some sort of, you didn't agree with some sort of system of beliefs and left, or didn't feel part of. That would explain pioneer and self-empowerment. You didn't have stability. You walked away from something. Clarify. You walked away from a home or stability. You weren't happy in some sort. Okay, so like I say, this can be represent the law, but also cause and effect. It could even be marriage or a commitment. So there was some sort of commitment or rule that was causing you lacked hope. There wasn't any peace, but you left. Let's see. You didn't agree with some beliefs that were around, or even some sort of things you were committed to. Like I say, marriage. Something that seemed right in the eyes of others, but didn't feel right to you. It caused your spirit conflict. Too many of those. I did have the Hierophant upright and the Hermit reversed. Yeah, I think you were definitely wanting to get away from something. A commitment. Yeah, you weren't happy. Some of you might not have even. This could be like losing hope in marriage in general. But for a lot of you, I think it's you wanting to leave something. because of what happens over here. Oops. Okay. That was upright a minute ago. Yeah, you left something behind. And with, see, this is normally shame, guilt, remorse, depression, really negative emotions that keep you up at night in reverse. So by leaving this, this stability, this commitment, or how do I word that? This system, like I say, system of beliefs, family system, home. By leaving that, it took you out of this Nine of Swords energy. So it made you weren't, your spirit wasn't at peace where you were. So you left it on purpose and caused yourself a tower moment so that your soul could be at peace. Yeah, you left. That's when you knighted off with the Knight of Pentacles to start something else. Yeah, you left it behind. How does this help you now? I wonder if you did it for love. How will this help you now? Right now you could be guarded or holding on to something, or both. I mean, you could be really guarded, having a hard time of letting go of the past or of a similar system to your past life. Maybe you're struggling with that now and you're having a harder time moving on. I'm going to help them now. This could also have something to do with losing some sort of legal case that caused you to be in poverty, but you eventually started anew elsewhere. And now in this life, you have a poverty mindset and tend to try to hold on to money. I think you have trouble distinguishing between your dreams, being that, is it illusion or is it real? There's mystery. You don't like the unknowns. That's how you get to the Ten of Cups, is through this, through following your dreams and your intuition. Could be about a person. Yeah, that's how you create. 3, 3. Oh. 3. Coming into balance. Is this Boaz and I don't remember the other one, but that's what this stands for. On Solomon's temple, the pillars, the polarities, bringing your polarities together to create something new, a third. There's some sort of blockage. You could be carrying a lot of burdens, because I asked what this Queen of Pentacles was. We had the 8 of Wands in reverse. That means a lack of movement, a lack of communication. And then the 10 of Wands, which is carrying a lot of burden. Needing to start something. Are you waiting to hear? Lovers. From someone, or vice versa here? There's something you're fated to do, but what do you mean? Are you struggling to do it? Ritual and ceremony. Gossip. You could be worried about gossip. But that's how you're going to ascend. We have a social gathering and family affair upside down. So yeah, I think this, you're supposed to go on some sort of solo journey here. Like I say, leaving something behind. Going after what your dreams and intuition is telling you to get to your 10 of Cups, which is ultimate fulfillment. That also helps you to ascend and level up. Follow the signs and synchronicities. Organize and prioritization. Financial increase. I'm going to get a couple of these. And then we'll get some other cards to see where some other possible incarnations were. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So you're supposed to walk away from somebody. Probably from this Queen of Pentacles here. For those of you dealing with love. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. On the bottom of the deck, you can't make this up. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. What have I been saying? And about loving yourself, the saboteur in the past life, let's see. The shadow attribute of, no, it was this one. Talks about dependency, and this talks about not stepping into your power. So you could be codependent on some sort of, like I say, marriage, belief system, in this life, similar to your past life. But in your past life, I think you did step out on your own and leave that situation. And I think that's what it's calling you to do, for you to do now, apparently. So let's get some information on potential incarnations. Venusians on the bottom. Romance. So more about romance. Romance, soulmates, empathy. So yeah, definitely some sort of thing from your past life about a soulmate. Grays, short. Timid, misunderstood, shy. Yeah, so about that self-empowerment again, I think. Syrians. So Mintaka, although has a lot to do with, mermaids, dolphins, water. I wouldn't have channeled that had a lot of you not been from Mintaka. But there's also another possibility of Sirius. This is Sirius B. They say that beings like this did exist in Sirius A too. I was told that I was a water elemental from Sirius A. So, just throwing that out there. So it says, responsibilities, lessons, growing up. So, maybe you had a lot of responsibilities, like I say, a lot of obligations pertaining to traditions, systems, and it's about you stepping into your power and growing up and choosing your own beliefs. Letting go of what is not yours to carry. Letting go of the Ten of Wands. Letting go of things you're not even supposed to be carrying. Like growing up, stepping into your power, and living your life for you. Some more possible incarnations. Pleiades. Galactic, well, you're galactic. not a very specific one. And then we have Spain again. So maybe La Verga. Look up La Verga. It's not the Mexican version of Verga, because then you'll get porn sites pop up on your browser or your phone. So let's get some quick messages, predictions and stuff. You're a teacher. Root, be secure in who you are. That's another thing I was going to mention in the collective and forgot. So people can be very earthy, very much in a 3D, have a lot of pentacles show up in any reading they get, but they can still not be balanced in their root because they have fear. I've seen people try to go toward what they love doing, and then if anyone, even if there's a hint of doubt or judgment from another person, how quickly they flip-flop and pretend, no, that wasn't me, that's not what I want, I didn't say that, I didn't think that. So quickly people flip-flop. How fickle they are when they think they're going to be found out for something as simple as for what they want. They're so afraid to be themselves. Be secure in who you are. We heard your prayers for help. Empath, carrying too much. Yeah, again, carrying too much. oops, accident, mishap. So that could have been this situation, or hopefully you're going to have, maybe there's going to be some sort of mishap coming up. Messages from your higher self. Never blame someone for the road you're on. That's your ass fault. I haven't seen that one in a while. So yeah, are you on a road? Are you being still stuck and stagnant in your old environment, too afraid to move forward? And even if there's not a road, or you don't see a road, you're the pioneer. You're supposed to blaze a new trail yourself. So, children. So there could be something with children here in your past life that's connected to now. This could be referring to maybe you're a teacher of children, something to do with inner child as well. Angels are protecting you. So that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, share, subscribe, comment, anything like that. Really does help. It helps to circulate the channel and support the channel. And I do hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose group 3, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages first. I don't know if it's Nyath or how that's pronounced, but a few different meanings here. It could derive from Ireland, like ancient Ireland. So there could be a connection there. It can mean tribe, or it could be referring to a specific Irish tribe. It could also mean champion or hero. In Papua New Guinea, it can mean good. So again, with another connection to Papua New Guinea. Don't know why that keeps coming up. I don't know if it's a collective thing, something personal with me or one of you I'm picking up on, but in the last video we had something like that come up. And then twos. So Tuesday, that's going to come from the Germanic god of war and the sky, which is basically the equivalent of Mars. So if you didn't know that, that's where Tuesday comes from. And then star. So I do get starseed vibes, if you were wondering. And then Agara, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's Vedic and Sanskrit territory here. So that's going to be like ancient India. In Sanskrit, it means residence. And in ancient India, astrology refers to the houses. So in astrology, we have the 12 houses. So apparently it can mean that in India, or in ancient India. And then temple. So that could have been significant for you in a past life. And then yoga, that can mean a few different things again. It could be a Vedic fire ritual. So again, another association to Vedic. It could be referring to a Lithuanian music festival. So we have Lithuania now. Or it's Slavic. If you ever heard of the Baba Yaga, it's a Slavic witch-like being. So we have Slavic, Lithuanian, Vedic, ancient India, Ireland, ancient Ireland, and Papua New Guinea. Interesting. But we'll get more information. Let's see what kind of person you were. So we have alchemist. An angel. Dilettante. So, the font is hard for me to read on these, so I'm going to have to pull a little close to me. Transformation of the base motives and goals into golden wisdom. I do see potentially some Asia. Angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. Alchemist, angel, dilettante. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So you definitely were not in your ego at all. Very good at alchemy. I wonder if you were even in to your detriment here with, so we had art a couple times there. So probably an artist. Martyr, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So I do think you had a cause, but you were also into spirituality, because we have alchemists. So I do get that energy of having these mystical, alchemical abilities, whilst also fighting for people or for self-empowerment. But definitely I think for other people, but I did, well, both. I get both. I think that you fought for other people and you helped other people without expectation, but I do think you've had a lot of art influence, and you were self-empowered in that way as well, and not being afraid to showcase your creative pursuits. You were not superficial. And we had temple and the channeled. We just had champion and hero, didn't we? I wonder if you were like an astrologer. Okay, so what happened in this past life? I saw that earlier. You were bound to something. This is very similar. This is weird. We had both of these in pile 1. What was this? Okay, what's this over here? Shit. Did y'all leave a commitment too? There's the King of Wands. Okay, I think you could have left someone too. But it looks like something had a hold on you. It could have been addictions. It could have been some sort of thing you were bonded to, like a toxic relationship, even toxic dynamics in family, work, anything. But something shattered it. I feel like you gave up. There was a change where I think you gave up a lot of things. I get like monk sort of. Okay, so you know how Buddha lived in a castle? Well, you might not know. I don't know. So Buddha, decided one day he was just going to leave his castle behind and go sit under a tree and get enlightenment. I feel like you leaving behind things like that. I don't know why. I mean, it could be, like I say, addictions. Let's see. Anything ego. Because, Buddha left behind the castle or the kingdom to sit under a tree to gain enlightenment, to have an ego death. So I feel like that's what happened. I feel like you had some sort of ego death and you walked away. And you gave a lot up purposely, but offered you a new stability and a new beginning. And you see the fool, all he has is a bindle. So you see how it goes from darkness to light too? From black to yellow. But you chose that. I mean, you could have been ostracized, but I don't really get that here. I get you choosing to walk away. From the first group, it was more like a traditional system, something to do with law or a marriage, some sort of convention. This, I get, is anything ego related. You walking away from that. Just starting over with just a little bindle. Trying to regain balance. Maybe you grew up with a silver spoon, but you got tired of that. So you're walking away from all sorts of conflict. Not only things of the ego, like status, addictions, but I feel like conflicts with people, too. You left. You wanted to find your stability. Noticing, so the Four of Wands, a lot of people say that's a divine counterpart card. Because these people they are getting married, and we have 1111. But we have these two solo people. But they're facing each other like they're going toward each other. So maybe someone left before you or vice versa. And you found them. It could have been a situation where you were an apprentice for someone who lived the lifestyle, this sort of lifestyle. Not necessarily, could have been martyrdom, but not necessarily. Like I say, someone who doesn't care about possessions, status, who wanders around helping people. Maybe you could have been their apprentice here. Yeah, I feel like you stepped away because this can be, this is a go-getter, but he can be arrogant. It's in reverse. I feel like you were privileged at one point, or you were arrogant at one point, or perhaps even temperamental. But like I say, you chose to walk away from all that. You let love in. And then you became sort of a helper to others. You transformed perhaps what you had seen about people in their egos, or any addictions or obsessions or any toxicity you had seen in your life. You sort of transformed that into a way to teach others with this alchemy. You recognized it, you walked away from it, and then you went around to help others. But I don't know that you were alone. You could have, think of it that, not literally. Well, it could be literally, but whatever. Think of it as like Jesus how he would travel and perform his miracles and how he had profits. So this is the apprentice sort of relationship I'm talking about. You being the apprentice meeting up with someone like this, or vice versa. So I also get any sort of nomadic energy. So think the cunning folk, gypsy, Irish travelers. That could also apply here. So how can this help you now? Again, I mean, this is a different deck, and in the how can this information help you now? How can this past life help you now? We have the Ten of Cups again. So you're not able to travel right now, which is affecting your fulfillment. Because you were used to traveling before, I feel. There could be something, a cycle that you have not closed out of yet. Again, but that affects your fulfillment. Yep, focused, yeah. So there's a need to cut out this negativity. It may not necessarily be about travel for a lot of you. It's going to be the part about how in a past life you walked away from the devil energy, and how you're struggling to do that now. And you know, the devil energy can be any sort of fear or negative tie, any chain. Yeah, you're having trouble manifesting, looks like. Maybe you don't feel like you have any opportunities, or you don't see a way for there to be any manifestation. Coming out of, traditionally this is a sacrificial energy. This is in reverse. We don't want any martyrdom this time. If there was any in the past, definitely no martyring allowed. But this is the energy of resurrection, coming out of the energy of basically overkill, betrayal, defeat. Coming out of that, some of you could be, I do think it could go back to you not walking away from the negative energy, you refusing to put an ending to the negative energy. Or mindset. Okay. So I asked what would happen if you let go of any negative mindsets, and you have the card for celebration, getting together, social gatherings, and the card for judgment, which also has the energy of resurrection. So I think that's how it could help you now. I didn't get any of these. Give me some clarifiers for what's going on. Self-sabotage. Healthy diet. So I wonder if your diet is affecting you physically, or some of you could be obsessed with your diet and looking a certain way, causing some like an unhealthy eating disorder sort of thing. Okay. But a diet is all about what we consume, right? So what kind of energy are you allowing yourself to consume? Oops. You need to break the karmic cycle, and that will help you. Physical illness and surgery in reverse. That will help your health. It could be having something to do with walking away from certain family members, or it could just mean this is a solo journey. Social gathering in reverse. Yeah, definitely a solo thing. Maybe you, because I said what will happen if you end the negativity, and then we have this, which is basically social gatherings. So maybe somehow ending the negative thoughts or behaviors or whatever it is, relationships, maybe somehow that brings you closer to people, different people. Let's get some information about possible origins. We had some potential places here on Earth, but let's see if there are any anywhere else. Look at the edges, they're green. It's so pretty. Origins, Group 2. You could have a thing with numbers. Like numbers show up for you a lot. Okay, so we have on the bottom of the deck, starseed, which your channel had star, I think. Self, memories, identity. So you could be waking up to some memories of your true self. Alpha Draconians. So Draco gets a bad rap, but not all Draconians are bad. So this is probably going to have something bad written on it. Let's see. Contempt, unethical, cults. So maybe you were involved in a cult before for something unethical, and that's what you walked away from. So not all Draconians are bad, but I mean, you could have been one of the negative ones, and there could be a lot of karma for that. That could be what you're, working on in this life too, having to deal with the karma of that. You could be on either side of this too. Anunnaki. So, yeah, buddy. I don't know where that buddy came from, but I know that a lot of Draconian and, well, I call it Anunnaki, but Nazama, who I used to watch a lot, calls it Anunnaki. So, but anyway, they're basically the dragon energy I get with you. So you may not necessarily be Draconian or Anunnaki, but you could be, like primordial dragon energy. But anyway, so we have pyramids here. Controlling, drama, conflict of interest. So yeah, I think there was some darkness in your past lives. But I mean, you are showing up with angel and stuff, so, and martyr. But you did have the devil, but it had the tower underneath it and you walking away. So maybe these energies, maybe there were some energies like, and Anunnaki aren't necessarily bad either. Okay, there could have been stuff done to you or your, wherever you were from, that made you lose everything, which made you who you are, but caused a lot of shadow energy. For others of you, you were like this, and you did this to people, and you changed. You chose to walk away from that. So it looks to be a 50-50 thing here. I will leave a playlist under the timestamps for Nazama's starseed explanations, and you'll see more about these and why they're not necessarily bad. But okay, I mean, reptilians, yeah, usually bad. Draconians, not necessarily. Allegedly. I mean, I struggle with believing in starseeds myself, so I understand how others are. My thing is, I have an open mind. Anything is possible. I'm not going to assume that I know everything, and that nothing can exist like that, because that would be very egoic of me. Greece. Pacific Islands. So think like Philippines, places like that. Samoa. Could have been like where Jason Momoa is from, like around there. Aha, finally. Andromeda. And then on the back, Scandinavia. So Sweden, Norway, Denmark area. Viking sort of stuff here. Okay, now let's get some last messages. Inner union. So, balancing the divine feminine and masculine aspects within yourself. New perspective. So that's what that Hanged Man in reverse was. Hidden spiritual gift. So there's a spiritual gift that's going to be coming about that you don't know of, that you possibly were a master at in previous incarnations. Messages from your higher self. Are you living for yourself? Or are you living for others? Beginner's mind. So that was that student apprentice energy that we saw with the Page of Pentacles and the Fool. Having a beginner's mind. Deprogramming. You are meant to be happy. I think people forget that. They feel like if they suffer, it's more holy somehow. But our purpose here is to be happy. And we even feel guilt for that for some people. But That's what we're here to do, is to create and be happy. So that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, share, subscribe, comment, anything like that. Really does help to circulate and support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you next time. Take care, and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose pile 3, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages. So, not a lot of English. The first thing I saw was yen, I think is how it's pronounced. And it is a city or a village in France. And then Yesu, I think. That could either be a Cambodian orphanage, Genghis Khan's father, or another word for Jesus. So you could have been a follower of Christ in your past life, or you could have been around during those times that he was here. You could have something to do with Mongolia, with the Genghis Khan's father, his name being Yesu, something with that. Or, like I say, a connection to Cambodia. And then I was surprised that this came up, fairy. I did not expect that for a pile 3. But pile 3, you have fairy. And then asap, so that can mean vapor in Indonesian. So there's an Indonesia so far connection, possibly Mongolia, Cambodia, France, and then with the Jesus reference, that could be Jerusalem or just being alive during the time. Next, we have Yena. That is so there's an African tribe, the Zulu, and it can mean he or him, but also it means gift, or it is Vietnamese for peace. Like the name is a Vietnamese name for peace. So again, that's Zulu, Ghana, or Vietnamese. So there was just a lot that came out for you guys, and a lot that I had to research, and a lot of different languages and places came up. So, and then I saw Taza, and it changed to Kaza, so I looked both of them up. And Taza, I think this was Vedic. It can mean tin or something made of tin. And then it can mean tribute, and that's going to come from the Chibcha tribe. It's an indigenous tribe in Colombia. So again, in my last reading, we had a word that came from an indigenous tribe in Colombia. Here we are again. So it can mean, like I say, tin, tribute, or it can mean merchant. That's also going to be Vedic / Sanskrit. It can mean, it referenced a merchant that helped, that visited Buddha after his enlightenment, one of their names. And then Kaza, so that can mean just. It could be a suburb in India. So there is a couple references to India. A lot of Asia in general, Asia, Africa. So Kaza is a Korean name for peace. So Taza was a Vietnamese name for peace. No, that was Yena. So a Korean name for peace. So we have Korea, Vietnam, India, indigenous tribes of Colombia, some of Africa, Indonesia. And Lord of mercy, I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere. So luckily the last two were English. And strain. So I wonder, that made me think of like an illness. So maybe there was a strain of illness. And then saint. So you could have been a very holy individual. Or that could be something else significant. But just throwing that out there. So that's what I got for your channel. There's a lot of information to take in. I know. What kind of person are you? We gonna find out. Actually, let's do this. So we have saint in the channel, now we have exorcist. Prince exorcist. The fudge. So, exorcist. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Romantic charm and potential for power. Samaritan. Refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. This was in reverse, so I'm wondering if there's the shadow aspect comes out here, which is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Oh yeah, I do get indigenous with this one. I don't know why there's trapeze artists here, but you never know. I'm wondering if you used your gifts like in a vain way. We'll see. Okay. I don't really know how to take that one. I think you did try to liberate people in some capacity. Or yourself. Yeah, you do care about image. There might have been some talk or gossip about you, what you did. Another king. I think there was a death of someone that was in leadership, like we have a king here, but it could have been like a, like a chief or something. Because in the death card, there is a dead king down here. There's also like a priest or something too up here. So I'm getting a couple of things. So a king figure, authority figure could have died and put you into power, which was a burden. Or you could have been like a spiritual advisor or like the priest or whatever religion to the king, which increased your status. But I do think there was some kind of gossip or something about what you did. Or you called this out in other people, which could have pissed some people off, like what they were doing wrong. But I do think you sort of navigated your way into higher social circles, or used your, like I say, used what you did to get ahead in life and like to get recognition, I guess you could say. I don't know that you always had money. I think you started out without money, but ended up prominent, like in a prominent place as a prominent figure. Maybe you were put into positions where you didn't feel like you had the power to get out of, too. How can this help you now? My ears just started ringing for the first time. Yeah, why does this keep coming out? It's like leaving traditional systems behind. Looking at the past, what past beliefs, what seeds you've sown, possibly leaving that behind. Seeing the imbalances in relationships, or like places of employments, friend groups, society. Like where this comes out so much, like what you want to put your energy into. Could be divorce. Yeah, I don't think you're seeing the light or a way out here. There's not an illuminated path. And the severity is going to be different for each person, but I mean, it could be like leaving a lot behind, like breaking a contract. Yeah, because you're not happy. There's no balance. Internally, this could even be externally, because sometimes this could be soulmates. Yeah, you need to get balance back. So I've used 3 different decks, and a lot of the same cards keep coming out, and it's crazy. But let's see. Any other clues? Birth, partnership, and loyalty. So it's about birthing or creating something new. Perhaps finding out who's really loyal to you, like who loves and accepts you for you. Or it could be leaving certain partnerships here. Curse and hex in reverse, so like breaking a curse. I asked what partnerships and loyalty was, and we have injustice in reverse. So we have justice in reverse here. So injustice in reverse would be righting the wrong, turning this into justice, like maybe going toward the right people or going toward the right person. Have you been true to yourself too? So let's get some of these. You deserve love. You are lovable. That was weird. It didn't come out, but we had worth waiting for in reverse, which is divine timing is at work in your love life. So maybe you're not supposed to wait, or someone's not waiting for, if you're being put in a position where you're having to wait. I kept hearing, I noticed we have the same card in reverse. Do you not think you deserve love? Maybe there's somebody you're not releasing. Yeah. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. You deserve love on the bottom of the deck again. Yeah. So you deserve real love, not the bullshit. Okay, so let's get origin stuff. Oh, like I was saying, like I started to say, I noticed that you have Prince, and I was reminded that I kept hearing a song by Prince, and I don't necessarily listen to Prince, and especially this song is not one that I ever listened to or knew well, but I kept hearing the one I Would Die For You, and I will link that in the description box because I feel like I'm supposed to. So, when I looked up the lyrics, I thought it was, the first part of the lyrics, not so great, but they kind of go with the movie. But the rest of them, crazy good. Well, hello, fam. So, Venusians. Romance, soulmates, empathy. Flower of love. Inspirations. Awe. Dreams. So, Sirius A is allegedly where I'm from, so yeah, except I didn't look like this. But anyways, Sirians. Artistic, integrity, honesty. Yeah, I stand by those traits. Do you? I really didn't look like that. I'll show you a picture. So, potentially Syrian. Let's see what else. Now I'm not gonna be able to get that song out of my dang head again. Okay, Cassiopeia on the bottom. Other galactic origin. That means like one that's not known, that I don't have written down here. Arcturus. That's a good one. That's kind of where they say that people connected to Arcturians can see symbols and numbers when they close their eyes, which is what I do. So there's that. Delphinus. So more watery energy with Delphinus there. I'll try to leave a bunch of information under the timestamps of each of these. Mayan. Aha. So kind of felt indigenous with it. So let's get some quick messages from this, and that'll be it. That's not a lot. My friend said I would, that I could give too many of these. I give too many of these. Okay. Healing. Didn't I see healer? Yes. So you're a healer. and you could be healing right now. Passed on loved one around you. Could be a past life person too. Betrayal. So you could have experienced some betrayal recently, or that's currently something that you're going through, or vice versa. Hey, don't assume. Divine detour. Nature, plants. So you could be connecting more with nature, or plants into plant medicine, for example. Let's see. Trust in divine timing. Focus on the practical side. Routines, organization. Those white ones were messages from your higher self, if I didn't say that. Very interesting, fam. So that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, share, subscribe, comment, anything like that. Really does help to circulate and support the channel and is very appreciated. I hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose group 4, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. Congratulations. I thought that group 1 was the only one that got an origin in the channeled, but you did also. You have Lyra. I will probably leave some information under the timestamps for different starseed origins if you're interested. But we also have Isis, which is an Egyptian goddess of a whole lot of things. Magic, healing, the underworld, basically the mother goddess. So, then I saw 3 words, and none of them were English. That happened a lot for this particular video. So I saw taper, and that's actually a couple things here. So that could be Middle English for just the word taper, like ER, meaning like a candle. But in Tocharian, it can mean high. Or Danish, it could mean brave. And it's also a name in India, like a surname. So we have China, England, India, Denmark with those, or with that one. And then Vatem or Vatem, I don't know, but it's Latin, so there's an at least an Italy area connection, and it means a poet or a singer, usually a poet or a singer of heroes, like singing about someone's heroic journey. That reminds me of that guy on The Witcher. I don't remember his name. But anyway, Noric. I for sure did not think that would be a thing. And it was. There's a Norwegian company with that name, but also it's Slovakian for fool. And fool, I think, has came out for group 4 before. That Uranus energy of leap of faith sort of energy. So we have Slovakia, Latin, which would be like, I would think like the Italy area, Denmark, India. This was in the Tarim Basin or Tarim Mountains of China in like 500-ish AD. Like I say, or Middle English, but we also have the Egyptian connection with these two. So, poet, fool. I wonder if you traveled around singing and stuff. Anyway, so that was your channeled. So what kind of person were they? Let's find out. We'll get into origins here in a second. Alchemist. Scribe. This sounds very interesting. Alchemist and scribe. Wonder if you... That's very Mercury. And think of the emerald tablets of Thoth, or Thoth, or however you want to say it. Those were inscription, like scribe energy. About alchemy, hermeticism, which the emerald tablets of Thoth are also connected to the emerald tablets of Hermes Trismegistus. So Hermes being Mercury, but also hermeticism in general has a lot to do with alchemy. So I wonder if you did something like that where you wrote down philosophies and theories and mystical ideas and alchemy, like if you scribed for that, or I guess any religion. Okay, that shot out. A poet. Yeah. Athlete, and it says dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. But I just want to point out the poet thing. Just, wanted to... Okay. Did I even point to the right thing? No, I didn't. I pointed to fool because I'm a fool for wanting validation and accolades for this. Okay. So poet. And also expresses soul insights in symbolic language, symbols. So yeah, so with scribe too, I wonder if it was something like cartouches, like hieroglyphs, things like that. Okay. Scribe. Preserving knowledge and information. Alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Yeah, like I'm getting spiritual powerhouse sort of energy here. Documenting it. Athlete. I'm getting Greece too. Like I was thinking you could have wrote, because a lot of, like I was saying in the collective, a lot of the Greek mythologies can be sort of soap opera-ish love stories. So with poet and all this, I wonder if you preserve some of that too. Like some of you, it's going to be different areas, but let's get more details. So you could have had some sort of physical limitation, but overcame that. So if you have something now, for example, I have very poor vision. I have been told about, without this person knowing my vision situation, about having my vision affected in a past life. So it could be something like that it still affects you today. A lot of wands. Wait. Yeah, why do I get Greco-Roman times? Maybe you had trouble expanding for your future, like expanding. Lord, I can't make words. Maybe you had trouble with broadening of your horizons. You didn't have any victory in that, or any recognition for what you did. everybody is getting the Four of Wands. What is going on? Maybe you didn't choose to rush into things because you wanted more stability. Were you too afraid to make moves? Were you just waiting? Too scared to do anything? Let's get some clarifying cards. Now, there did seem to be some confusion for your future. You didn't know how you were going to make money or gain your independence. You felt stuck. Everybody gets this. The Seven of Coins. In reverse, too. I think you wanted to leave your homeland. Or just... yeah. Same sort of sitch here. It's so weird to use different decks and get... I feel like you had stability, maybe. But didn't know how to bear fruit for energy you had put into, or seeds you had planted. Like your harvest never came in. And it drove you crazy. Not literally, but... I think you wanted to travel a lot, or travel overseas at least. But it could have been like some of that, it could have been a monetary limitation or a physical limitation. Yeah, I don't think you were able to move. That's sort of a recurring theme with everybody's. Well, how can this help you now? Again, we had this in the last group. Either needing to close out a cycle of negativity, like letting go of the old, allowing that cycle to close, allowing something like that to end, or this could be like rebirth energy. I think you feel blocked from your intuition, or you're just not believing in yourself. Maybe you're waiting on information. Why don't I just get all the cards before I start talking? Because this is how it can help you in your current life. Maybe it's as simple as recognizing that you have the chance now to do what you couldn't. To believe in that you can accomplish, because there does seem to be a fear of the unknown here. And that could have played a part in your past life as well. Maybe a lack of information or clarity is causing a delay. But it could just be you not having belief in yourself. Because the last card we have is the Star card, and that's all about hope. Look at how the energy shifted from the past life with all these wands, and then Good color differences. Yeah, you don't need to repeat the same cycle here. There's got to be a connection to your intuition, or even connection to, this could be like hidden mystery information. So this could be your Akashic records. So learning about that, like I said, could help getting information about that. But this could just be you trusting in yourself and not worrying about the unknowns. And that would help you heal. To move anyway, despite the fears. Yeah, definitely use your intuition. Let's get some of these for extra clarity. Exercise and physical activity, that goes with athlete. This has came out for most, if not all. So it could be something about breaking away from a certain group or family. Maybe finding your soul family. Or just could be referencing a solo journey. Maybe you're afraid of change, or it's saying that this situation, I don't think that it's saying that this situation can't be changed. I think it's saying that you're not being changeable. You're highly sensitive. Could be an empath, most likely. Past life issue. That needs to be gotten rid of, because it's not yours to carry anymore. I mean, you can overcome it now. Yeah, maybe you do feel blocked from your intuition or from the divine. Let's get some other cards. So these are potential origins that are not earthly. Blue avians. Yes. Okay, we have philosophy. So, like I was mentioning with hermeticism and things. Philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. Shazam. Bazinga. Sorry, I don't know. And shadow self. Denial, projecting, and shame. So there could be some shadow that needs to be cleared. And then we have the Merkaba. And it says, movement, long distance travel, excitement. So yeah, you are meant to move. So the only starseed origin this one gave you was blue avian. Let's see what this one has. Egypt on the bottom of the deck. Monoceros. So that's a constellation. India. Andromeda. So that's another constellation, another starseed origin. I'll leave some info in the description box. Some final messages. Predictions and messages from your higher self. Okay, my friend said I had too many of these. Hopefully she gets this pile. Childhood issue. Physical health. So working on your physical health. Harsh judgment. This could be on others or on yourself. Or you've received some harsh judgment, in which case, F them. Notice who values and supports you for who you are. Leave the rest behind. Moving travel again. Betrayal. So that could have been something you went through recently. We're currently going through. I don't know if you did the betraying or were betrayed, but probably not the betrayer if you're watching this, if you're watching these sort of things. But could have betrayed yourself. Stagnant, if you don't move, we'll move you. So yeah, they're really wanting you to move. People can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. If I didn't mention this, the white ones are messages from your higher self. Show tough love in the situation. So, people, like if you need to move away from certain people who aren't respecting you, who don't love you for you, or who you don't love, or whatever, show tough love in the situation. You're not benefiting people by, letting them continue to live a lie, basically. That's just the short term of it. Like if you want to leave a guy, but you don't want to hurt his feelings, that's stupid, because you're preventing them from growing and finding their true person, and you're preventing yourself from growing and finding your true person. That's just one example. Okay, the truth will set you free. Watching, keeping tabs. So that could be something you're doing or someone's doing to you. Don't miss out. Yeah, don't miss out this life. You've done effed up one before. Let's not do that on the street. I'm kidding. But we don't want to make that mistake of missing out. So that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Anything like that really does help. It helps to circulate and support the channel and is very appreciated. I do hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless.